I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
Call me a god. Call me a god. Call me a god.
Good afternoon and welcome to the live Premier League coverage of Everton against Arsenal from Goodison Park here on LFS this afternoon. It is game 9 of 10 this weekend and we wrap up our double header of Sunday football with a classic fixture in Premier League terms. We started this afternoon with a 0-0 draw. We'll be hoping that all the goals that we're expected to see this afternoon are being left for this one. Arsenal have a dismal record against Everton away from home, Arsenal losing 4 of the last 5 here at Goodison Park. They'll be hoping to change that and get their first win in 6 here this afternoon. To the teams, and Sean Dyche's side that won here their last season against Arsenal starts with Jordan Pickford in goal. A back 4 of Vitaly Mykolenko, James Tarkowski the captain, Jared Branthwaite and Ashley Young in defence. A midfield 4 of Idrissa Gueye, Amadou Onana's the Man United goalkeeper, Amadou Onana, Dwight McNeil and Arnott Danjuma, with Doucouré in attacking midfield and Beto in the striker role. On the bench for Everton this afternoon, Virginia, Patterson, Godfrey, Keane, Garner, Onyango, Calvert-Lewin on the bench, Dobbin and Shermiti. For Arsenal in goal today, a changed goalkeeper, David Raya, makes his way in. He starts in goal for Arsenal. A back 4 of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Alexander Zinchenko in defence. A midfield 3 of Declan Rice, Fabio Vieira, who comes in for Kai Havertz, and the captain, Martin Odegaard, with a front 3 of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah. The bench for Arsenal is as follows: Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Kivior, Smith Rowe, Jorginho, Havertz, Nelson, Jesus and Leandro Trossard. A really strong bench for Arsenal, and Everton will be hoping that their recent good form against Arsenal continues this afternoon for them to try and get their first win of the season. Kick-off is on the way in just a moment. Of course, across the Premier League this weekend, we are remembering all of those lives affected by the disasters in Libya and in Morocco. We take a moment of silence. Silence that is observed impeccably here at Goodison Park to remember those lives affected by the disasters in Morocco and Libya, as has happened all through the Premier League weekends. A crowd that are surely going to give Arsenal a tough test. They'll be hoping that their team on the pitch can give Arsenal a tough test, as they have done in recent seasons. And Sean Dyche's first game in charge of Everton was against Arsenal here last season, in which they did get the 3 points. Well, Everton 1 of 5 without a win, and they start this one hoping to change that narrative. They're hoping for their first home goal as well this season, two games here at Goodison, both 1-0 defeats to Wolves and to Fulham. They'll be hoping that they change their path, the path that they've already forged so far in this early few weeks of the season. Here's Declan Rice, an early touch on the ball. Ben White down the right hand side, back in field to Rice. By the way, throughout this game we'll also keep you up to date with the scores in and around Europe, in La Liga, in the Bundesliga, in Serie A, in La Liga and in the Eredivisie as well. And a game that is live at the moment, Villarreal against Almeria. It is 1-1 in La Liga and 0-0 between Darmstadt and Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga. Ødegaard finds Saka. Nice early moves from Arsenal. And Nketiah finds Ødegaard. Cuts it back to Rice. Rice switches it to the left. Zinchenko's ball is misplaced and intercepted by Mykolenko. And that's really good covering back from Rice. The ball was trying to find its way through there to Danjuma, but it was well cut back by Rice to win it back for Arsenal. Gabriel. Martinelli. Back to Gabriel. Arsenal, or Everton in their traditional blue and white shorts. Arsenal in their traditional red with white shorts. So no need for kit changes, as expected of course. There wouldn't be any need for kit changes in this type of fixture. Red against blue. Here's Vieira for Arsenal on that left flank. Martinelli plays it in field to Zinchenko. Zinchenko with a cross, and it's headed behind by Dwight McNeil for the corner. First corner of the match for Arsenal. It's really good early passing from Arsenal. Started quite comfortably, looking confident, looking in control. Exactly what Mikel Arteta will want to see from his team early on here. Well, Arsenal, since the start of last season, 15 goals, the most from corners in the Premier League, joint with Tottenham on 15 as well. Want to make it 16. They have the first corner of the game. 2.5 minutes in, 0-0. Corner, Arsenal right hand side. Bodies in the box. Saka to take it, left footed, lifted it into the box, headed away by Tarkowski, and will bounce out for an Arsenal throw in on the right hand side, of which Bukayo Saka will pick up and will leave for Ben White to take. After this one, we do not finish our Sunday action. We have NFL action to come for you. We'll tell you about that as the game goes on. White, back to Saliba. Now Gabriel, all inside the Everton half at the moment. Gabriel to Rice. Ødegaard, a bit of a loose one there, but Rice did recover. Got it to Saliba. Now Gabriel. Ben White. Rice. Nice Saka. Saka on the right flank. Up against Mykolenko. Lovely flick on by Nketiah, but it just evaded. Ødegaard there, Branthwaite on the cover. Denied him the chance. Here's David Raya coming out of his own goal to get a possession on the ball. Zinchenko. Rice. Arsenal confident in possession. Early doors here. Confident, just knock the ball about, take their time. Here's Vieira. Now out to the left is Martinelli. Gets past the challenge of Ashley Young. Martinelli. The last touch is off Gabriel Martinelli and gets a goal kick, Everton. It's good defending by Ashley Young after he made the slightly early challenge on Martinelli. A bit early there. But he did recover and wins Everton the goal kick. Well, Ashley Young has the most touches for Everton this season, which is quite interesting considering he's a defender. Right back, he is playing today. They played it out from the back, Arsenal. Saliba with the ball coming the other way, and Tarkowski heads it out for an Arsenal throw. Well, Sean Dyche's side won this game last season based on how strong they were defensively. They soaked up the pressure, they sat back against Arsenal, looked to be solid at first and attack last, basically. And they got their goal on the break last season, and they held out to win 1-0 here a true Sean Dyche style performance from Everton. They were hoping that they could see that from them this season. That's a poor pass by Martinelli, by Zinchenko, and that runs for an Everton throw. That's a bit poor there from Arsenal. Unnecessary to give that one away. Everton have the possession. Jared Branthwaite. Back to Pickford, who fires it out to the right. Ashley Young brings it down, and last touch off Martinelli will be another Everton throw-in. Young with the throw down the line. Latched upon by White McNeil. Back to Young. Onana, Young. Now Tarkovsky. Bit of overhit to Branthwaite. Mikalenko picks it up. Now Branthwaite. He gave it away momentarily, but it was won back by Doucouré. And Onana goes back to his keeper, Jordan Pickford. And that's a poor ball from the back there from Tarkovsky. Well, we've seen Everton, their first two home games. I mentioned in the opener that they haven't scored this season in their home games. 2 1-0 defeats this season at home. That shows that whole idea that they had last season that kept them in the division of a strong home record of getting really good results at home didn't carry through to this season, hasn't carried through so far. They want to get that strong home form. A big statement win here it would be if they do get the 3 points, considering how both sides have started their seasons, completely contrasting to each other. Scotty will come in, says, "Hey, I'm back, but I'm an idiot." I could have sworn I thought I read Liverpool was playing. I guess I'm cheering for Arsenal. I might need glasses. Liverpool played yesterday away at Wolves, and Liverpool won 3-1. There was a change in the order. Newcastle-Brentford was meant to be this game, but they swapped it due to Champions League scheduling, so there was an initial change. That's really nicely won back by White. Now Ødegaard. Ødegaard trying to feed it through for Saka. Branthwaite just gets there ahead of Saka and puts it out for the corner. No worries, Scotty. Simple mistakes, we all make them. It happens. Not a big deal. It's Ødegaard trying to thread it through for Saka, who made the run, and really good covering by Jared Branthwaite to get there ahead of him. It gives Saka another opportunity to whip a ball in here from the right hand side. 8 minutes gone, 0-0. Saka looking for a bit of a better delivery this time, one that an Arsenal head can meet. Hand goes up, left-footed delivery, whips it in, right the way to the back post, kept alive, and Everton put it out off their own player, Ashley Young, for a corner. It went all the way through, right to the back post, and it bounced at the back post, and Everton kind of panicked and had to clear it, and then headed off Ashley Young and went behind for the corner. Wasn't caught right by Martinelli initially. Branthwaite panicked and hit it off Young as it bounced down, and Arsenal have a corner on the left hand side this time. And they've quite a few bodies at the back post again. Arsenal, Nketiah and Gabriel lurking. They've taken it short this time, the corner, looking to drive at the defenders a bit more. Cuts it back, Zinchenko feeds it through for Martinelli. Martinelli on the edge, Martinelli with the strike, high and wide from actually Fabio Vieira. Read the wrong number. I'd read 11, but it was actually 21. Fabio Vieira with a strike. It ended up wide. He saw it opening up and struck through it, did Fabio Vieira. It's a poor shot. You can see the frustration on Mikel Arteta's face there. Didn't want him to take that shot on, but he did. We have 2 goals to tell you about. A really good start to the game in the Bundesliga for Darmstadt against Borussia Mönchengladbach. 2 goals in the first 10 minutes for Darmstadt. Fantastic. They're looking to be on course for their first win of the season. Of course, both Darmstadt and Mönchengladbach without a win in their first 3. They're looking to make it their first win. Darmstadt 2-0 up. Wow, what a start to that game. Scotty says, "Hey, we all make mistakes." Indeed, we do. Exactly, I do as well. David Raya Thought he was going to go long, but he played it out to White. Now finds it to Saka. Saka being heavily pressed by Mykolenko, but he does keep a hold of the ball, Saka. And then he is eventually beaten, but the referee's given the free kick, as Saka was impeded there by Mykolenko. So foul on Arsenal player Bukayo Saka, free kick to the visitors, of which Rice takes quite quickly. Zinchenko. Gabriel back to Zinchenko. Arsenal in their own half, just playing it around at the back. Saliba. White. Back to David Raya. Be interesting to see what the performance is from David Raya this afternoon. Of course, that's the big story before the game, that Aaron Ramsdale doesn't start this afternoon. Not injured, not that we could have heard that he was injured. He's on the bench today, Aaron Ramsdale, so seemingly fit enough to start, but just hasn't been selected by Mikel Arteta in the starting 11. Of course, paid big money in the summer for David Raya, did Arsenal. And we'll be giving him an opportunity at Goodison Park. Certainly not throwing him into the deep end, are you? White trying to feed it through. Bit of a deflections, and Pickford was pressed there by Nketiah, but it's far too much endeavour from Eddie Nketiah there. He's trying his hardest, but it's very late on Jordan Pickford by Eddie Nketiah, and Everton get the free kick. It's Branthwaite just passes it back to Pickford, and Nketiah was on the press right away, and he just followed through on Jordan Pickford. I would actually say that's more on Branthwaite than it is on Nketiah. Nketiah is pressing for the ball. His momentum carries him through Pickford, but Pickford getting the ball back, if that hadn't have been passed back to him, that wouldn't have happened, because he knew he was being pressed. Branthwaite had saw that he was being pressed and still pass it back to his keeper. And Nketiah, nothing doing other than a free kick there for Everton, but we play on. 12.5 minutes gone, 0-0 here at Goodison. Pickford to take this free kick inside his own 18-yard box, fires it long. First header won by Beto, and then the second one by Onana, but then cleared away by Arsenal. Tarkowski retreating, has to go back to his keeper, and Nketiah on the press again. Pickford gets it wide to Tarkowski and back to Pickford again. Another press from Odegaard. Risky pass for Pickford, but he found its way through to Branthwaite. Branthwaite with a switch ball. And that's well covered by Alexander Zinchenko against Raya, or for Raya. Finds it to Saka. Saka with the first header. Mykolenko pressing and gets it back to his keeper. Bit end to end there. Both teams going long from their keepers, and both defences defending it well. Here's Pickford. Gets it to Onana in the middle. To Tarkowski. Out from the back, Tarkowski. Gives it straight to Alexander Zinchenko. Gabriel. Nice Saliba. William Saliba. Of course, Arsenal back in Champions League action this week. We'll keep an eye on them as they have their first Champions League game in 7 years at the Emirates, as they play PSV Eindhoven on Wednesday night. Looking forward to that one. We'll be covering the Bayern Munich Man United game though, but we will keep a close eye on the Arsenal game right the way through the evening on Wednesday night. Ben White. Declan Rice. Zinchenko. Back to Rice. Rice out wide to Saka. Saka on the right hand side. Nice from Saka to get past Mykolenko. He's a few bodies round him. Gets it to Odegaard. Lovely feet by Odegaard. Still on the right flank and well pressed by Doucouré to win it back, but then he gives it away. Rice running through, trying to link up with Nketiah, but Everton get in the way again, and then Rice is fouled by Doucouré. Free kick Arsenal. Bit frantic. A lot of turnovers in possession there in that short space of time, and a bit frantic from both teams. Bit nervy on the ball. They're trying to work it too quickly and throwing challenges in. Arsenal did get the free kick. Zinchenko finds it to Vieira. 15 minutes gone. Vieira lifts it over the top. Run made by Nketiah, but he was offside, Eddie Nketiah. Flag went straight up by the assistant on that right-hand side, and Eddie Nketiah has been ruled offside there. Well, Arsenal unbeaten in 7. Everton without a clean sheet in 5. And with Arsenal scoring first in 4 of the last 5 games against Everton. Of course, the last fixture, that 1-0 defeat here, was the only time they didn't score first in the last 5 against Everton. Everton coming close here. Arsenal having to defend it, and Gabriel back to Raya. They've also won the first half in 4 of the last 5 times, Arsenal as well, against Everton. The last game between these two was at the Emirates, and it was a 4-0 win for Arsenal on the day. Then Everton winning against Arsenal in that other game back in February as well. Topsy-turvy. The home side's coming out on top last season between these two on both occasions. Good defending by Mykolenko. Throw in Arsenal on the right hand side. Ødegaard taking no time, not wasting his time, takes the throw in, gets it to White. White to Rice. Nice Saliba. The game's taking a slower tempo. Arsenal were popping it around in the early few minutes. Quick, crisp passing. They're just taking a bit more of their time on the ball now. In control, Gabriel. Now to Gabriel Martinelli on the left. Comes in field, Martinelli finds it to Declan Rice. Rice to White. White to Saka. Saka back to Rice. Now Ben White on the right hand side. Lifts one in, back post. Vieira trying to connect. Couldn't get a good connection on it. Vieira, and it's cleared away. Picked up by Zinchenko. Better from Arsenal. Rice. Quite quiet inside Goodison. White with a switch ball. Lovely switch ball brought down nicely by Martinelli. Up against Danjuma. Martinelli looked for the cross. Plays it across to Rice. Rice now White. White tried to find Rice again, but intercepted as White wins it back for Everton. No way out for the home side at the moment. Suffocated by this Arsenal press, this Arsenal team. Zinchenko. Rice to White. Arsenal just patient. Everton far too patient on their press. They're not even pressing. They're holding off for as long as possible before they need to interact. Here's Saka up against Mykolenko, holding him off. Saka tries to get past Mykolenko. The last touch was off him, and he done well to recover to deny the corner. Arsenal will have the throw in though on the right flank. White to take. Throws it into the box looking for Ødegaard. Headed away, and Everton clear their lines only as far as William Saliba, who heads it across to Gabriel. Better with a press. Loses out, and then Eddie Nketiah wasn't offside, and it's through to Martinelli. Martinelli with a chance. Martinelli with a goal. Gabriel Martinelli. There was a hint that Eddie Nketiah could be offside. The flag didn't go up. Arsenal continued. Everton had no clue what they were doing. The ball through the back of the defence, right the way through. The run from Martinelli, and the finish from the the left-hand side. Lovely goal by Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah is well onside. It's Mykolenko that's playing him on. Everton got a bit confused. They took their time. Martinelli made the run in behind, and the finish is sensational into the far corner. Really, really good finish. And Arsenal lead 1-0 here at Goodison. It's so patient, so calculated from Arsenal, but so poor from Everton. One simple ball in behind, one chance, and Arsenal have the lead. As simple as can be. However, there is an offside check. We will check. We will wait and see. There is an applause around the goal, or around the ground, about the death of a season ticket holder here at age 19. That's why they were clapping there, the Everton fans. They certainly weren't clapping an Arsenal goal. Tell you that much. VAR are still checking it. VAR making sure. Actually, Nketiah's offside. It appears that Nketiah's offside. And it won't be a goal. I'm a bit baffled by that. Strange. No goal then. Simon Hooper has been told by VAR Eddie Nketiah in the build-up was offside, which meant that everything after that doesn't count, including the goal. So Nketiah was offside. I thought initially, oh, there could be a hint of offside, but they played on. And I thought, oh, they mustn't be offside then, it must be clearly on. But the VAR had a look at it, and he was offside. So, bit of a confusion there, but no goal, Arsenal. Back to 0-0. I'm a bit baffled by that. I think they've got the right decision. I can clearly see he was offside, but from when the lines were drawn. But in the main play, he did look onside. Strange. Nonetheless, Arsenal 0-0. What it has done, though, has give Everton a bit of energy. Reinvigorated the team after a very quiet first 20 minutes for them. They've got to improve, Everton. This could be a worry. Oh, it could be a worry for Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli's just gone down off the ball. See what that's all about. We'll get an update on that. That's strange. Gabriel plays the ball. It deflects off an Everton player. And Nketiah touches the ball after the Everton player deflected it. Surely then he can't be offside. Surely. I'm still as confused about that goal being disallowed as I was from the very first look. I'm genuinely confused. We'll see this again. Gabriel plays the ball. It hits off Beto, the Everton player. It bounces its way through. Nketiah touches it. As he then plays it to Vieira, who feeds it through for Nketiah or for Martinelli. But surely then, if the ball comes off Beto, surely then it can't be offside. But they've given offside when Gabriel touched it. But it took a deflection. That's strange. Very strange. I'm sure they'll explain it, but I am baffled as to what has happened and how that was ruled out, since there was a deflection in the build-up. Crazy. Anyway, the man who thought he'd scored for Arsenal, Gabriel Martinelli, has been taken off here. He did get a bit of treatment on the pitch and he can't continue, and is going straight down the tunnel here at Goodison Park. Not good news for Arsenal. And that means that Leandro Trossard is on in his place. An early substitution for Arsenal. An enforced 1-3 injury. That's a foul on Bukayo Saka, surely. And that will be a free kick to Arsenal. I'm trying to come to terms with this. I'm sure we'll get more information at half time, but I am baffled as to how that's been ruled out. We will surely hear more, but I'm confused. Anyway, moving on. Saka. So back to 0-0. 24 minutes gone here at Goodison. With Arsenal in the ascendancy again. Whites. Saliba. Gabriel. Back to William Saliba. Declan Rice. Out to the right is Saka. Infield to Rice. Rice with a switch ball. Out to Trossard, who takes it down nicely. Here's Leandro Trossard. On the score sheet for his country this week was Leandro Trossard for Belgium. And that big win during the week for Belgium in the Euro qualifiers. Hoping to do the same for his club. Ben White, 25 minutes gone. Here is Ben White for Arsenal. Back to Saliba. Across to Gabriel. Now Trossard. Comes in field, does Leandro Trossard. Across to White on the opposite side. Ben White out wide to Saka. Saka on the right flank up against McNeil. Saka lays it off for the overlap of White. White with a cross. Deflected, brought down. Rice is in the box. Rice takes the strike but deflected. Kept alive by Zinchenko. Whipped across by Vieira. Back post. Ben White was there and so was Odegaard, but White got it and cleared it away actually for his own team. They're causing issues again, Arsenal. Everton just look a bit limp. They look like they're just waiting for it. They're not really getting in the way of Arsenal. Arsenal are playing a training exercise at the moment, it seems. A training game. AFC Generation TV says, hi, it's me, Fun on my alt, and then logged in on his other team. Fair enough, Fun. Get involved on 2 channels. Nicely cut out by Zinchenko. Brought down by Gabriel. Nice Saliba. White with the ball forward. Vieira with the heavy touch that gives Onana the chance to win it back, and does so. Branthwaite for Everton. Has to go back to Pickford. Can Everton do something with this possession? Oh, Tarkowski did not want the ball off Pickford and has put himself in a Pickford put himself in a difficult position there. Had to clear his lines. Looks a bit strange. Very weird that. From Pickford to Tarkowski, and Tarkowski didn't want the ball. Pickford passed it to him and he was on the press. The the Arsenal players had to force it out for a throw into Arsenal. Zinchenko with a short pass to Rice, and that will give Everton the throw in. Or will it? Even everyone in the stadium, I think even the commentators on the TV, on the actual broadcast, are struggling to come to terms with how that was ruled out. I'm sure we'd need an explanation from the Premier League as to how or why that was ruled out, because no one can actually gather and understand how. I'm baffled as to how. You cannot be. I don't think you can be offside from a deflection. I really don't. The last touch is off an Everton player, so surely there can't be an offside. Offside just becomes void at that point. Odegaard. Now Zinchenko. They've just been poor on the ball, Everton. They can't get it. They can't keep it. They're passing. They can't string passes together. Arsenal win it back, and they just look comfortable. Odegaard trying to link up Nketiah there. Was Vieira. Now Everton have the ball, and now they do break. Now they've put a few passes together. Here's Beto. Beto down the left. Maybe a chance for here from Everton on the break. Beto up against Saliba. And Saliba ushers it out of play. Goal kick, Arsenal. That's probably their best opportunity of the half, Everton. On the break, the ball to Beto. Beto takes it to Saliba. Tries to take him on. Saliba ushers it. Really, really good defending by William Saliba. Holding off Beto. And just sees the ball out for the goal kick. That's probably Everton's best threat so far in this game that we've seen. Yet to see a shot on target, of course. Everton win it back though. That's good from Idrissa Gueye. Now out to the right flank. Beto's in the box. Doucouré and McNeil as well. Young with the cross. And nicely caught by David Raya. That's the first time the keeper of Arsenal has had to get involved to stop an Everton attack. Branthwaite just pushed there by Saka. So that'll be a free kick to Everton. So far, Arsenal have had 79% possession. They've had 2 shots, none on target, 9 touches in the opposition box, Arsenal. Everton have had just the 1 touch in the opposition box and 21% possession. To say that Arsenal are dominating the ball is a bit of an understatement at this rate. Gabriel back to his keeper, taking the pressure off. Raya catches, 30 minutes gone at Goodison, 0-0. Arsenal having a goal ruled out from VAR, which we're all still very confused as to how that was offside. surely we will find out more information as the game goes on. Surely at half time we'll get a bit more info, and I'm sure, and I will certainly let you know when we do have more information on that. At the moment it is still a bit of a up in the air confusion as to how that was ruled out, but nonetheless, Dwight McNeil battling with Doucouré. Lovely from Doucouré. Nice feet to get past Rice. Doucouré on the goal, trying to run through, blocked off. Want a penalty, Everton, but no, referee waves it away. It's never a penalty. Odegaard now trying to send Arsenal the other way, but Zinchenko with a heavy touch, won back by Doucouré. Now here's Danjuma for the strike from distance, blocked by Gabriel. And Nketiah coming deep to help out, but again Everton win it back. Idris Gueye with a strike straight at David Raya. Better from Everton, getting the ball and maintaining attacks. Very good from the home side. There's not a foul in there. Just seeing the replay of the Doucouré run to try and run into the box, but never a penalty. That's a foul on Bukayo Saka by Mikolenko. Scotty says I try not to be a conspiracy guy, but maybe they felt sorry for Everton sucking so much. Well, I never know. The referees are bad. I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're sympathy bad, to be honest. But I have to say, I can't gather how that's happened. Just to let you know, the game between Fiorentina and Atalanta has just kicked off in Serie A. We'll keep the with the scores in that one. And Marseille against Toulouse kicked off around an hour ago. It's half-time 0-0 in that one. And still 2-0 Darmstadt in that game, and Villarreal Almeria is still 1-1. They're bad, but they're not that bad, Scotty, I would say, to be honest. Free kick Arsenal then. Odegaard on the right-hand side. Left-footed, whips it in. Headed away by Mikolenko. And will bounce out for a throw-in to Arsenal on the right-hand side. So an opportunity for them then to keep this attack going. Ben White to take the throw-in. Taking his time, taking the throw-in. Trying to find Odegaard. That will run straight out of play for a goal kick. All that waiting, and we got absolutely nothing. Well, we have another goal in that game in the Bundesliga. This is some result. This is some scoreline. If anyone keeps an eye on Bundesliga football, what a result this is going to be. Darmstadt 3-0 up against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Incredible. 3-0. It's still in the first half, 34 minutes gone. Fun says, Lelfas at half time, can you put up the picture with hopefully the line drawn? I will try. I will. Of course I will try that for you. And I will make sure that we can analyse that ourselves. But I'm actually... The question I have is the still image that will be sent out, and I believe it will be, that they used to calculate offside was actually off the Arsenal player, not the Everton player that it deflected off. That's why I'm confused. I will need to get the full details, but maybe it was because it was a deliberate pass, an unintentional deflection, I don't know. I need the rules. We need to get the rules out, get the rule book out and try and figure it out. 33 minutes gone then, 0-0 here at Goodison. Saka down the right hand side up against Mikolenko. That battle is going to be interesting all day. Saka to Nketiah, back to Rice. Now Zinchenko. Down the left hand side is Zinchenko, trying to find the infield ball to Trossard, but Trossard wasn't on the same page, was expecting the ball out wide, but it wasn't given either. And we'll run through for Jordan Pickford. Comes to nothing then for Arsenal. Pickford taking his time to take that kick then. Does so. Gabriel tries to intercept. Arsenal win it back. Calls of handball off Zinchenko, or off Trossard, sorry. But Arsenal will get the free kick, as one of their players, Fabio Vieira, was fouled late on there. Just saying that again, it's Beto on Fabio Vieira there. 10 minutes to go the first half, plus additional time. And it's Arsenal that have had all the possession. And I would say all the opportunities, because Everton have had a shot on target. Arsenal haven't. But they've had all the possession, certainly. Arsenal. Dominance on the ball. Everton find their feet just a few moments ago to try and have one or two chances. Just to let you know, Gabriel Martinelli is back on the bench. He's sitting out there, so after going down the tunnel around 10-15 minutes ago, he's now back out and sitting on the bench after he was, of course, replaced by Leandro Trossard through an injury issue. So that might be a good sign for Arsenal. That's a good touch by White. Nice infield pass, finds it to Saka. Lovely link up with Odegaard. Good play from Arsenal, but Odegaard's beaten off the ball. Very well beaten off the ball. Saka's gone down. Isn't happy. Simon Hooper stopped the game, which gets a rising boo from around Goodison at why the referee has stopped this game. But Saka did go down. It's a late challenge for Mikalenko, but there's not too much in it, to be honest. He does catch his foot, but I wouldn't say it's enough for a foul. Saka wanted the foul, but I think the Everton fans are unhappy with the fact that Simon Hooper stopped the game to get involved with that, because there was no need to. It wasn't a head injury. He didn't need to stop the game. I don't think there was a foul in there, genuinely. I don't know what Arsenal are complaining about. He's not been given a free kick, so a drop ball for Everton has been given. Mikalenko. Pickford. Long ball from Pickford. White with the header, and Mikalenko with the last touch, surely. No. It was out of play when Mikalenko touched it, so Everton throw. Well, they've been physical, Everton, certainly, in this first half, and that's probably what Sean Dyche has been asking of them. To be physical, to put in challenges, to try and win your duels. Give Arsenal a tough task. That's one thing they didn't do in the first 20 minutes. First 20 minutes they were sitting off. They were waiting for Arsenal to just attack them. Whereas the last 10 minutes, they've been much more involved, Everton. Putting in challenges, being more physical, breaking up the play a lot more. That's more of an Everton type performance. White. Odegaard, short pass to White. That will run for another Arsenal throw-in. See what I mean? Everton just breaking up the play, causing Arsenal to make a few mistakes. Another mistake made. Odegaard can't gather it. And Everton win it back and will win the free kick. That challenge off Declan Rice. And that will give Everton the free kick. Basically, Everton have just been galvanised by the fact that that goal was ruled out. They've worked their way back into the game. They're becoming more physical now. And they've now got a free kick in the second half. Or in the, in the second half. In the Arsenal half. To try and give them a good opportunity here. Taken short by McNeil. Young with the whipped ball in. Right to the back post. Good defending by Gabriel to get that one away. Trossard to try and carry it the other end for Arsenal. Trossard plays it infield to Zinchenko. Zinchenko, awful pass, gives it away. Onana. Now Doucouré. Infield to McNeil. Dwight McNeil from distance, blocked. Trossard for Arsenal. Now Vieira, nice feet. Here's Fabio Vieira. He's got Nketiah running beyond him. Doesn't go for that one. Vieira stays on the ball. Zinchenko out in the left. Has to go backwards. Gets an applause from Everton for their endeavour. Switch ball from Vieira. Lovely ball. Look at the space for Saka. Saka on the right flank. Cuts inside Bukayo Saka. Still going Saka. Held off well. Zinchenko. Now Rice. Trying to work at Arsenal. Rice finds White. White gets the first touch. Odegaard in the box. Back to Rice. Rice to White. Linking up with Odegaard. Back to Ben White. Ben White with a strike. Straight at Jordan Pickford, who can catch quite comfortably there. But better movement from Arsenal up front. Nice link up. Nice triangles between White, Rice and Odegaard. Sounds like a side dish. White, Rice and Odegaard. 40 minutes gone, 0-0 here at Goodison. 5 minutes plus additional time to go. With Arsenal struggling to get into their rhythm since that goal was disallowed. Everton breaking up the play a lot more. They did get the throw in there, Arsenal. Yes, indeed, fun white rice. Some funny names in football. Some funny name combinations. Also in this Arsenal team. Scotty says, I dig the graphics. Thanks very much, Scotty. Tried to improve the graphics this season from last season. Much improved, I would say. A better format, better layout, I would have said. Never thought I would hear that. Down the left, here's Fabio Vieira. Arsenal just in possession again. We have a goal in La Liga, and it's Villarreal that have regained the lead against Almeria. 2-1 to Villarreal in that one. Ben White. Back to William Saliba. Gabriel. To Saliba. Saliba with the wide ball, trying to find Saka. It's cleared away by Mikalenko, but brought down by Odegaard. Now Declan Rice. Rice. Out to Ben White. White to Saka. Now back to Declan Rice. Zinchenko trying to open it up. Thought he was going to go for goal there. Give it out wide to Trossard. Trossard with a quick feet. Trossard finds Zinchenko in the box. Nice first touch by Zinchenko. Has to go back out of the box as Everton crowded it out. Clear it away. Here's Gabriel. Rice. Movement down the left hand side from Arsenal. Gabriel. Vieira. Now Rice. Switches it across to Ben White. Now Zinchenko. White. Saka. Back to White again. Zinchenko trying to feed it through. Bouncing around looking for Trossard, but cleared away by Arsenal. Then one back by the visiting Gunners. Through Vieira. Nketiah, who hasn't really got much of the ball recently. He's got the touch there. Gives it back to Declan Rice. Now Ben White. Need to make the movements in behind this compact Everton defenders. Set of Everton players, and even they're all playing defensive role at the moment. Everton. Sitting back. Gabriel. Trossard. Back to Zinchenko. Cross to White. Last 2 minutes of the first 45. 0-0 here at Goodison. White has the space to run into. Gives it to Saka. Saka back to White. Then back to Saka. Across to Zinchenko. They're just working it around, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the opening. There it is. Zinchenko finds it to Vieira. Vieira's made the run beyond. It's bouncing through. Everton just got a touch on it to get it away. And Rice can't win it back. Beto carries it away for Everton. And then Zinchenko with the last touch gives Everton the throw in. Better from Everton to get that cleared, but Arsenal again. The pass in behind the ball in behind to Fabio Vieira. Tries to cross it, blocked by Everton to clear it away. Really good. Last minute of the half, it seems to be. Stephen says, didn't expect no goals this long in two of the games. Yeah, well, yeah. Although Arsenal did put the ball in the net, but it was ruled out through VAR. We could have 2 0-0ers. I don't want that. Believe me. I do not want 2 0-0 games. Let's hope we can get a goal in this game that can kickstart it, because that'll be some boring Sunday if we have 2 0-0s. But good results all round for the teams that are expected to lose, the likes of Everton and Bournemouth. Bournemouth getting a point against Chelsea, and if Everton do get a point or more against Arsenal, it'll be a very good result. Tried the ball in behind again, Arsenal, and Vieira made the run, but yeah, execution wasn't great that time. Just a bit overhit to find Vieira and run for a goal kick. to Everton, and the 45 minutes have surpassed, but we will play another 4 minutes in this first half. So 4 minutes of additional time to play in this first half before we do find the to come to the interval. Surely a lot of that was the injury to Martinelli and the VAR check as well. Handball given against Saka, so Everton get the free kick inside their own half. Don't forget, while we have this break and play, we have NFL action tonight. The New York Jets at the Dallas Cowboys. Live commentary from 9:25 this evening on LFS Plus. Then we'll have Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots in the early hours as well. Everton have the box. Ball in the box is bouncing around. Arsenal get it cleared. Mikalenko. Better from Everton. Onana. Oh, what an awful ball. Gives it to Trossard. Trossard challenged and he is fouled, and is a yellow card coming here. I think it was Ashley Young, it was. Late challenge on Leandro Trossard. The ball had already gone, and he came through the back of Trossard to try and get the challenge on the ball. Yellow card, poor challenge by Ashley Young, who has been booked. So free kick to Arsenal, which they've already taken, by the way. Gabriel. Another ball over the top, but far too much on that one. They were looking for Leandro Trossard to chase that one, but nothing coming. Well, they failed to score here last season. They'll be failing to score so far this season here at Goodison Arsenal. They need to do something to try and change that, and hope that Everton don't do the same. But what they did last season was nick a goal on the break. There's another player down here for Arsenal. They will play on the moment. They now do put the ball out of play, which just allows the referee to get a bit of treatment on Saliba. Saliba gone down. He was holding his eye. See this again, the challenge. Beto. Yeah, there's nothing in that. There's nothing in that. I'm sick of seeing these stupid challenges. Stupid coming togethers. Beto with the challenge. William Saliba goes down like he's a crying baby. Wait, get a grip. You're meant to be a strong centre-back. He didn't touch you. It's so frustrating to watch when players just try and con the referee into giving them a free kick from absolutely nowhere. So frustrating. So frustrating. Trossard. Here is William Saliba. He's dried his eyes, he's got up on his feet, and he's happy now. Surprising. Rice in space. Finds it to Gabriel. Now Vieira making the run down the left. Up against McNeil. Vieira cutting inside, chopping back twice. Gets it across to Ben White. Now Rice. White. And White wins the throw in off Danjuma. It's good play by the right back there, Ben White. Francis, we need a compilation of Elvis getting mad. Well, I'm sure there's quite a few of them, isn't there? By this point. White. Saka tries to find the ball, but the foul on one of the Everton players will give Everton the free kick. And we have just finished, actually not the free kick, we've just finished the game. As the final whistle of the first half to call an end another goalless half of football. It's the third goalless half of football we've witnessed today. Let's hope that the next half of football doesn't give us a goalless one. We did have a ball in the net this half, but it was ruled out by VAR, which should get confirmation on why that was ruled out at half-time. But at half-time at Goodison, it is deadlock. Everton 0, Arsenal 0.
first half, but they just haven't had that creativity. They haven't been able to unlock the door, and it's been possession, controlled possession, in front of a very deep line Everton defence who are quite comfortable with Arsenal having possession in front of them.
And David Raya, who's come in to make his Arsenal debut, the much heralded great goalkeeper with his feet. Well, that's just about all he's had to do, use his feet. He hasn't had to make a save.
But I think we've seen them use him a lot more. Whether, in a similar situation I talked to you before the game about Onana going into Manchester United. Manchester United, I've watched them, they now pass the ball square and backwards because the goalkeeper's able to do that. And I found that Arsenal, rather than going forward, the defenders, the midfielders had opportunities to turn and be penetrative themselves. They would use the goalkeeper and they would pass the ball at the back, at times unnecessarily.
Just a little touch from Aaron Ramsdale there, by the way, who came out to warm up with the substitutes at half-time. He actually gave David Raya a high five as the two crossed one another, going on and coming off the field. So half-time here at Goodison Park, it's Everton 0, Arsenal 0.
It's been every bit as stodgy as Everton have wanted it to be, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good word, actually. I said before the game, they have to find a way. They're not going to go toe-to-toe with Arsenal and play football. They've got to disrupt them. They've got to make it uncomfortable for them. That's why Arsenal don't like coming here. The history hasn't been good here because Everton have always found a way to play against them. And Sean Dyche's teams are good at doing that, because if you look at him at Burnley, the Burnley team that he's managed have quite often been inferior to other teams. And by that sense, they have to find a way of playing against the team, of making it uncomfortable and getting something from the game. It was never going to be pretty from an Everton point of view.
Paul, John, thank you for the time being. So we're still waiting for our first goal of the day on Premier League Sunday. Everton 0, Arsenal 0 at the break. Earlier it finished Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0. We've got reaction from Maurizio Pochettino and Anthony Iraola on the way. We will also keep you up to date with what's happening at the Rugby Union World Cup. We'll be in Nice for the first time. Don't forget, England versus Japan in full later tonight on 5 Live at 8 o'clock. And it's Australia 8, Fiji 9 is a later score in Pool C. That could impact England as well. If England win their section, they'll play the runner-up in Pool C, which of course also features Wales. We'll also speak to Robbie Savage. First chance to look ahead to 606 08085 909 693. The lines are open, so you can book your calls in right now. We'll do all of that after the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The BBC says it's urgently looking into the issues raised by an investigation into Russell Brand by other news outlets. He worked on BBC radio programmes between 2006 and 2008. The Met Police has also confirmed that it's in touch with the Sunday Times and Channel 4 following allegations of sexual assault made this weekend. Mr Brand has strongly denied the claims and says all his relationships have been consensual. A 35-year-old woman's been charged with the murder of 2 elderly people in Chelmsford. Virginia McCulloch will appear in court tomorrow. Essex police say they were called out on Wednesday after concerns were raised about the welfare of 2 people. International aid is slowly reaching the Libyan city of Derna, which was devastated by flash floods last Sunday. Thousands of people died and many more have been left homeless with no electricity or clean water. Our correspondent Anna Foster is there.
One thing that we are starting to see now is the beginning of international aid arrivals from different countries around the world, and it's starting to reach the places that need it, and crucially with trying to help those survivors who are still living in the middle of, in many ways, a nightmare.
Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni says the future of Europe is at stake following another influx of migrants from North Africa to Lampedusa by boat. The head of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, has been on the island today. She's offered proposals on legal pathways for migration, plus greater efforts to tackle people smuggling. More than 8,000 migrants arrived on Lampedusa in just 3 days last week. And Labour has said it won't guarantee to build the full route of the planned HS2 high-speed rail line if it wins the next election because of concerns about the possible cost. It creates further uncertainty for the project, which has seen costs spiral after a minister refused to commit to the line reaching Manchester.
Get ready for more, betterer, excellenter, goodlier, way out there, bestest American football. NFL on 5 Live and Radio 5 Sports Extra. It's heavy RMS power, so dial your amps up to 12 and crank up BBC Sounds to soak up the atmosphere and excitement from sports' epically entertaining game. Gridiron mastery, pigskin perfection in their 104th season.
Later tonight, it's New York Jets at Dallas Cowboys. Live play-by-play commentary on Radio 5 Sports Extra.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Great Britain serving for the set in the latest rubber at the Davis Cup over in Manchester. Russell Fuller.
In the shape of Cameron Norrie, who now has 30-15 and 5-3, but he's lost the first set on a tiebreak to Hugo Humbert, the world number 36. Dan Evans beat Artur Fils earlier, so if Norrie wins this match, the doubles will be academic, and Great Britain will qualify for the knockout stages of the finals in Malaga in November. 13,000 people watching in the AO Arena, the biggest ever Davis Cup UK crowd, and Norrie feeling a little bit of pressure. He's not in great form, his confidence isn't high, but he did have 2 very important wins for his country in February when the eyes of the sporting world were elsewhere, when he won a couple of matches in Bogota at altitude on clay to see Britain through to this stage of the competition. He's closing in on the second set here, trying to level the match, just 1 point away, 2 set points at the moment, and we'll see if he can finish it off here, Steve, to level this match with Humbert, but he's netted there, Norrie, so it continues. You know tennis, it could go on a while, but it's a second set point for Norrie to try and level this match.
Russell, thank you very much. We'll be back with you very, very shortly. Let's go back to the Rugby Union World Cup. Australia with a lot of work to do against a very impressive Fiji. Claire Thomas.
We thought this one might be a thriller, and the first half has done nothing to disprove that. Fiji lead Australia by just 4 points in Saint Etienne. Much of this one has been on a knife edge in the midfield with points at a premium, and so Fiji uncharacteristically have headed for the post whenever that's been on offer, and a note-perfect Simeone Kuravoli has slotted 4 penalties. Australia, though, have managed the only try of the afternoon through prodigious winger Mark Nwanganituase, who is such a formidable, fearless athlete. You might be forgiven for thinking he's a Fijian himself. The hits are huge, the pace breakneck, and the consequences enormous. Australia place 1 foot in the quarters if they win today, whilst Fiji needs to spring an upset if they're to keep their own campaign alive. What a game this is proving. Half-time is looming in Saint Etienne, and it's Australia 8, Fiji 12.
Cam Norrie has just dropped both of those 2 set points, so it remains 5-3 juice at the moment. Of course, on the Norrie serve, Great Britain leading France in that crucial winner-takes-all Davis Cup tie by 1 rubber to 0. Let's go to Nice then. The third and final game of the Rugby World Cup this afternoon is England versus Japan. Live commentary on 5 Live with Sonia McLaughlin once we're done with Premier League Sunday and 6:06. Correspondent Chris Jones, Chris Ashton in the stadium in Nice. And as I was just saying, Chris, you know, half an eye on the moment at what happens between Australia and Fiji, because it'd be very interesting to see who England are going to end up playing in the quarter-final.
Oh, 100%. Fascinating game, as Claire was saying, edging towards half-time. If Fiji can win that, then goodness me, that shakes up Pool C, doesn't it, with Wales getting that bonus point win just about against Portugal here at this stunning stadium on the outskirts of Nice, where we are right now. But yeah, England have got to get there first, as do Wales. Wales are 2 from 2. England 1 from 1 after that. Pressure lifting, crucial, enormous win against Argentina last Saturday. They put some fantastic foundations in place. Can they back it up tonight? That's the big question.
This is the big test of the pool for them, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, well, I mean, it's as everyone always says, it's one game at a time. This week's Japan. We haven't seen too much of them since 2019, really, where they were upsetting every team, Scotland, Ireland. So we're looking forward to seeing them play tonight. They will have targeted England. They will be back in another upset like they got against South Africa a few years ago. For England's side, it's great to have some consistency in the back line. We're not seeing it too often recently for an England rugby team where we've got the same back.
Set the rugby world alight, didn't they, with what they did in 2015 against Africa and Brighton, but more particularly I think 2019, because they backed it up to the extent they got out of their pool and became the first side from Asia to reach the World Cup quarter-final. Same coach in Jamie Joseph at the helm. Bit of a squad turnaround, but still the back row's world-class with Leach, Labashakni and Himeno. Unagari's a world-class operator at number 9, and Kataru Matsushima, who I'm sure Chris Ashton has played against, because he's played against everyone in his brilliant career. He's the live wire on the wing. So are they the same force of 2019? Probably not. Have they got a chance, though, to get a major scalp again at the Rugby World Cup tonight? Of course they do.
Thank you very much, guys. Chris Jones and Chris Ashton inside the stadium in Nice. 8 o'clock, full commentary. Join Sonia McLaughlin and the team after 6:06. Bournemouth and Chelsea remain in the bottom half of the Premier League table after a goalless draw at the Vitality earlier. So there's only one win in the Premier League this season between the two of them. Here's the Chelsea head coach, Maurizio Pochettino.
It's difficult to split the performance and the result and the feelings now, because I think we feel all disappointed, and of course we wanted to win. We created too many chances, but again we didn't score for second time, And yes, that is a thing that is make me very, very angry and disappointed, because the effort of the team is fantastic. The players were fantastic in the effort, and they fight a lot. But we need sometimes this luck, or sometimes this be more clinical in front of the goal. It's only we need it because all the metrics are good. We create too many chances, but in football it's about to score goals.
That's Pochettino. Here is the Bournemouth boss, Andoni Iraola, with George Cummins.
Andoni, your reflections on your team's performance this afternoon. What did you make of it?
We're happy with the performance of the team. Probably 1 point. It's not enough, no? But it's true that we were facing a very good team like Chelsea, that they can score in any play. So I think there are a lot of positives today.
And just in terms of what you've seen from your side, you've only been here a short time, but when are they really going to be playing how you want them to in your style of football?
You never know. We don't have any guarantee. Nobody has. But I think we're improving. Today I think there were really good news also in individual performances against difficult opponents. I think we had our first clean sheet. That is also good news for us, because we know that we need to improve these numbers defensively. But we still need the complete pack, no? The game where you score and you can win the game.
Let's.
I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny.
Call me a god. Call me a god. Call me a god.
Welcome back to the live commentary of Everton against Arsenal at Goodison Park. Half-time, it is goalless. As we've seen this weekend, Liverpool beat Wolves by 3-1. Villa did the same against Crystal Palace at Villa Park. Fulham beat Luton by 1-0. Brighton went to Old Trafford and won for a second time in a row. Tottenham won 2-1 at Sheffield United with a late comeback. Man City, the champions, 100% record. 5 wins from 5, 3-1 win away at West Ham. And Newcastle with a narrow win at home against Brentford to get their second win of the season. 0-0 earlier this afternoon between Bournemouth and Chelsea, and at half-time it's Everton 0, Arsenal 0, and the final game of the weekend is Nottingham Forest against Burnley. That is tomorrow night at 7:45 kickoff tomorrow evening. Right then, let's head back, ready for the second half, back into this scene. And let's have a look again at this. Now, I can explain what has happened. I've been given an explanation at half-time. Before the second half gets underway, the players just coming back out onto the pitch. Just have a look at this again. So this still image shows what VAR used to calculate the offside. As you can see, the Arsenal player, Eddie Nketiah, is in an offside position. So the player nearest to the ball isn't involved. Nearest to the camera angle isn't involved. Eddie Nketiah is the last man or the player furthest forward for Arsenal. He's offside. If you can see right down the back where the referee is, to the left of the referee is Gabriel. Gabriel hits the ball passes the ball. It deflects off Beto into the path of Nketiah, but because it wasn't deemed a deliberate action by Beto, so not a deliberate play of the ball, the PGMOL and the referees have agreed that did not reset the game, or the reset the phase of play, and Nketiah's offside was still a valid offside call because it wasn't deliberate action by Beto to play the ball. Very confusing, very difficult to understand to anyone, even if you do know the rules. That's a strange one, but it's one that went against Arsenal, and by the letter of the law, it was the correct decision. Whether or not we agree with the rule and the law is another question. But the referee did not get it wrong, the VAR did not get it wrong. By the letter of the law, it was a correct decision. Right, back on the way then. At Goodison, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. We're at 20,000, we've hit 20,000 over the weekend. Let's hope we can build and grow the community to our next milestone together. Right, Arsenal on the ball early on. Early ball out to Trossard on the left flank. Plays the overlapping ball to Zinchenko. Zinchenko with the ball in. Headed away. And then Tarkovsky with the follow-up clearance. Arsenal win it back again. It was a bit confusing. And Scotty's just put in, It was confusing to get there, but because it wasn't a deliberate action and it was a deflection rather than Beto trying to touch the ball. But then I disagree. I do think it was deliberate action anyway. Back post. Saka tries to put it in. Blocked by Everton. A very positive start from Arsenal. Trying to get an early goal. White. Rice. Now finds it to Ødegaard. Big save. Fabio Vieira with a strike high and wide. My goodness me, what a start to the second half from Arsenal. They're looking to put that disallowed goal behind them. Forget about it. They go again. Ball in behind from Vieira. Vieira right across. Saka tries to play it back into the middle. Blocked and cleared away. Then it was kept alive. Ødegaard takes the strike, left-footed, straight at Pickford who saves. It bounces out for Fabio Vieira who puts it over the bar and behind for a goal kick. But very positive start to the half from Arsenal. Very positive. Still 0-0 though. Zinchenko with the first header from that Pickford clearance. Brought down nicely by Beto for Everton. Trying to run away. He felt he was fouled by Gabriel. The referee agrees. And we will see if there's anything more doing. The referee looks to be just having a chat with Gabriel at the moment. Actually, no. He's pulled out the yellow card. I think he got a bit excited there, the ref. Beto did run with the ball. Gabriel just gets in his way. He knows what he's doing. It is a foul. Yellow card, I would say, is a bit harsh, but he's given him a yellow card. So Gabriel has been booked for that challenge on Beto. So free kick to Everton. Well, this is a moment. Set pieces are a strong force for Sean Dyche teams. Can Everton get a good position and get a good goal from one of them? Ashley Young with a cross. Half cleared by Saliba, brought down by Doucouré on the left. As Everton will recycle the ball. Danjuma gets it across. Ashley Young from the back. Looking to lift the ball into the box. Bouncing around, but Arsenal will get the free kick. A foul there on Ben White by Amadou Onana. So free kick Arsenal inside their own box. No changes at half time, by the way, just letting you know. We do have a few updates to tell you from around the grounds. Fiorentina 1, Atalanta 1 in Serie A. It's still the first half, and that one 39 minutes gone. It's kicked off in La Liga between Sevilla and Las Palmas. 8 minutes gone, and that one 0-0. Darmstadt still lead Mönchengladbach by 3-0. 50 minutes gone on that one. And Toulouse 0, Marseille 0 in Ligue 1. It is goalless in that one. All up to date then. Here's Gabriel. Gets it to Saliba. Saliba with this long diagonal. Brought down nicely by Saka on the far right hand side. Plays it nicely to Ødegaard. Ødegaard at the byline trying to cut it back. Blocked. Ødegaard keeps it in. Back to Ben White. White. Saka being held off. Good defending by Everton. Rice wins it back though. Now Ødegaard. Zinchenko. Zinchenko with a strike from distance. Blocked by Tarkowski. And Beto coming deep to help out his defenders. Beto, Tarkowski. And now out. And then Trossard just kind of hits it out of play. Bit strange, but he hits it out of play nonetheless. Was a check up from VAR for possible handball, but there's nothing in that. He's got his arms right into his body. Nothing he can do there. There's been a red card in the game between Darmstadt and Mönchengladbach, and it's Darmstadt down to 10. The man who scored the second goal, Maciej Miglika, has been sent off for Darmstadt in the Bundesliga. Here's Gabriel. Does get the ball out to Zinchenko, but a deflection will carry it out for a throw-in to Arsenal. Well, in terms of the stats, it was a pretty even half, but Arsenal had the dominance of possession in that first half. But similar to Chelsea, really, earlier today, they had all the ball, but the chances were for both teams. Both teams had their opportunities. And neither could take them. Honestly, it's like a carbon copy. Ødegaard. Gabriel. Back in field to Zinchenko this time. Vieira. Zinchenko. Zinchenko was on the score sheet for Ukraine against England last weekend. And that 1-1 draw with England in the Euro 2024 qualifiers. Here's Ødegaard, linking up with Saka. Saka trying to run through. Blocked off that time, but still alive. No foul. Ødegaard. Zinchenko. Gives it out wide to Trossard. Leandro Trossard cuts back in field. Whips the ball in. Headed away. Zinchenko keeps it alive. Better from Arsenal. Putting balls into the box. Everton dealing with them at the moment, but keeping the pressure on. Keeping Everton penned in. Ben White. Saliba. Now Zinchenko. Lifts it over the top. Too much. Pickford catches. That attack comes to nothing. But it gets an applause from the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta. Happy with how his side are approaching things at the moment. I'm sure he would be wanting a bit more. Maybe a few more shots. They've got their approach play to a T. It's just finishing them off. There are the chances that are the problem. Danjuma for Everton. Trying to link up with Beto, but well cut out. And Zinchenko wins it back. Trossard coming deep, helping out. And Vieira gives it straight back to Everton. Poor pass. Branthwaite. McNeil back to Branthwaite. Out to the left. Try and find the run of Mikalenko, but that will run for a throw-in to Arsenal. I'd love to see more from Everton. They're not offering enough for me at the moment. They were quite physical toward the end of the first half, but come out in the second half and Arsenal have just basically repeated what they did at the start of the first half. Just dominated the ball, playing it round really nicely, and Everton just can't keep a hold of them. Trossard, lovely run. Really nice from Leandro Trossard. He's into a good space here. Gives it out wide to Vieira. Vieira on the left. Has to go back in field to Zinchenko. Zinchenko. Can he find the move? Gets it to Rice. Down the right hand side come Arsenal. Saka. Infield to Rice. Out wide to White. Saka. Saka with the ball in. Trossard with a header across. And a massive challenge by Tarkowski. Nketiah was there ready to tap it in, but Tarkowski got in the way. The Everton captain keeping them on level terms at the moment. Denying an Arsenal opener. They're building and pushing for it though, Arsenal now. Zinchenko to take this throw in for Arsenal on the left hand side. Vieira. And the pass to Zinchenko's cut out. Arsenal will have another throw in. Arsenal down the side of their supporters. They're attacking this half. Supporters are on this side that they're taking the throw in from. Have another throw in. Zinchenko to take again. Still goalless. Zinchenko to Rice, and Rice's ball is put out again. Another throw in. Goal to tell you about in the game between Darmstadt and Mönchengladbach. Could a comeback be on? They missed a penalty, Gladbach, and I don't know if they have scored. I don't know if it's a rebound, but they've scored, and Gladbach are back in it, 3-1. Ødegaard trying to get on the ball, but that's good from Onana. Gets it back to Pickford. Pickford with the ball forward, but that's straight out of play. Goal in the game in Serie A as well, just before half-time in that game. Fiorentina have taken the lead for the first time in that one. They were 1-0 down to Atalanta, but have turned it all around in the first half. 2-1 they lead in that one. Arsenal have it on the right-hand side. Saka, Rice, Ben White. Back to Declan Rice. Well, Arsenal have options off the bench if they need them. They have a lovely pass in behind for Trossard. Trossard takes a touch at the byline, plays it across. Deflected. Trying to find a follow-up as Vieira, but it's cleared. Wow. Another big chance for Arsenal. What a ball from Zinchenko. Could be... No, he's onside. Trossard, he's well onside. Lovely ball over the top. Trossard makes the run, gets to the byline, plays it across. See it again. He's blocked initially. Right foot across from Trossard, right across the box. Kicked away by Mikalenko. It falls to Vieira. And luckily, getting in the way was, I think it was Abdoulaye Doucouré who blocked it. And ended up clearing it. But better from Arsenal. But as I said, they have a bench that if they need to go to, they've got the quality on the bench to make the changes, including Gabriel Jesus is one of them. Kai Havertz is another. Emile Smith-Rowe is another that can cause attacking problems. Reece Nelson, we've seen, has caused problems before for Arsenal against oppositions. But one that would keep an eye is Gabriel Jesus, the second most goals against Everton for a single player. Only Harry Kane has scored more against Everton than Gabriel Jesus. 8 goals. Jesus. Harry Kane has 10. So, if I was Mikel Arteta, I'd be looking at that stat and thinking, let's get him on. He scored in his substitute appearance last time out against Manchester United before the international break. Although it was a goal to just wrap up the game, but he did get on the score sheet. Zinchenko. Saliba with a switch ball. That's nice. Finds it to Nketiah. Nketiah through. Blocked. Corner. Really good defending by Tarkowski. See it again. Down the right hand side. Everton give it away. They latch upon it as Declan Rice. Ødegaard feeds it to Nketiah. Nketiah takes the strike with the right foot. And it deflects off Tarkowski and ends up wide for the corner. Arsenal building, growing in confidence, believing that they can get the opening goal here. Corner right hand side, Saka to take. Saka eyes it up, whips it in, headed away. Brought down for Zinchenko, who takes the strike, and there's a deflection corner. Another deflection, which will see it go for another corner to Arsenal. They look good. They look like Zinchenko's had much more of an impact in this second half for Arsenal. He played that roaming role in the first half, but really struggled to get any proper connections with the ball and proper impact, but he's having more of it this second half. Another corner Arsenal. Saka to take again. Takes it short this time. Trossard coming to meet it. On the edge on the right hand side. Plays it across. Zinchenko takes the strike. Handball maybe. I think that's a handball. There's corner. Deflection. It will go to a corner. VAR will check this. I think it looked like a handball. Zinchenko is incensed as to how the referee hasn't given this. We'll see it again. I think that's a close one. He's outside the box anyway. Outside the box, it can't be given. I think it's a close one, but it's outside the box, so... Are they checking it? What's going on? Both captains are over having a chat with the referee. Tarkowski's certain that it's not a handball. Ødegaard's trying to carry the case for the other side. VAR, in the midst of all that, have not done anything because they can't. It was outside the box. So no handball. And I think initially I thought it was a handball, but when you see it again, it looks like his arm is close enough to his body that it's not an action that would deny a big chance or anything of that sort to call it a handball. Vieira with a whip ball in. Headed behind by no, not headed behind. Branthwaite did head it. It just didn't go behind. Pickford caught it. Now trying to fire it forward to give his team a chance on the break. Nicely brought down by Doucouré. Has to go back to Mikalenko. And they couldn't make much of that counter-attacking chance, Everton. But they have the ball. Dwight McNeil, last 30 minutes of this game. 0-0. We need a goal, please. I do not want 2 0-0s. That'll be some weekend for me. I witnessed a 0-0 in the Irish League yesterday, and when I was covering the game for an outside source, and for LFS today, I'm doing 2 more commentaries, and so far 2 of them, one of them's ended 0-0, the other 61 minutes 0-0. I might be a bad omen for this weekend, or nobody can finish their dinner. Probably that. Well, at this point, Everton find the breakthrough against Arsenal in this fixture last season. Round about now, around 60 odd minutes, that Everton find their only goal of that game to win 1-0 against Arsenal here. But it's looked like it's been Arsenal that are more likely to find the breakthrough in this second half. It's been all them for the 15-16 minutes we've played of this second half. Yet they still can't find the breakthrough. But they're coming closer. How long will it be before Mikel Arteta wants to make changes? We will find out. Ben White. Declan Rice. Back to Ben White. Now, Saliba. Gabriel. Zinchenko. Well, the ball over the top. One for Vieira to run and chase, but well covered out by Tarkowski. Runs for the goal kick. Now, it looks like Everton are going to make a change first. And it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who looks to be the man that is coming on, seemingly for Everton. Remember, he did get an injury in the early game of the season. I think it was the second game of the season for Everton that he found his injury, but it's now game 5 and he seems to be coming back into the action. It was that 4-0 defeat against Aston Villa that he was injured in. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that's nice from Arsenal, but Nketiah couldn't find it forward. Everton have the ball here. Onana is taken down and will get the free, or actually it's Idrissa Gueye that's taken down. That was Onana on the link up, but free kick Everton. Stephen says, what would have been the odds for both games today finishing 0-0? Would have been very low odds, with Arsenal being unbeaten to start their season and scoring pretty good, looking pretty good in front of goal. Chelsea and Bournemouth, I probably would have said, would have been more likely to finish 0-0 than this one, to be honest. Although Everton haven't scored at home, and Arsenal look pretty good on the road, to be fair. We will see. Still a long way to go. And Everton have a free kick. They lift the ball into the box. There was an Arsenal player did go down in there. The referee didn't see a foul, so we play on. And as the ball goes out of play, he will stop the game. There is a man down. It is Gabriel, I think. Referee pointing to his head because the crowd are booing him for stopping the game, but he has to stop it if it's a head injury. Is it Ben White? Or is it Gabriel? It's Gabriel. Just a collision with James Tarkowski. It's just a loose left arm from Tarkowski into the face of Gabriel. It's not like the Saliba one earlier on where he didn't get touched. That was a collision in the face of Gabriel that time. They won't get a free kick for it. It will be I think it's a throw-in to Everton, I would believe. But they're taking a drink at the moment while there is a stoppage. These players are going to take a moment to take a breather, try and re-energise themselves for the final 25 minutes. 25 minutes for Everton that will see their new man, Beto, coming off and being replaced by the ever-present, well, I would say ever-present, ever-injured Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Arsenal also taking this opportunity to change their forward, 14 for 9 change for both teams. Beto off for Calvert-Lewin and Nketiah off for Arsenal, replaced by Gabriel Jesus. So both teams bringing on their number 9s. They're going for this one. Love to see it. That's what we want to see. 2 star strikers on the pitch to try and get the winners for these two teams. Saliba with not the greatest of heads, brought down by McNeil. Now Doucouré lays it off for Mikalenko, battling with Saka, and that will be a free kick or a throw-in. I think he's given a throw-in, the referee. Saka just didn't keep it in play. And Everton, the crowd are up here at Goodison. Throw in from the left-hand side, lifted in, headed away by White. Doucouré miskicks it. Calvert-Lewin involved. Danjuma with a strike over the bar. Good chance for Everton, but another one missed. Their best chance of the second half. White can't clear it. It's a miskick by Doucouré. It falls to Calvert-Lewin, who plays it to Danjuma, who strikes it from the edge of the box, but it's always looping over the bar for a goal kick. That's the best opening that Everton have had in the second half after 21 minutes we've played. Down the right comes White, trying to find Saka. Saka didn't get there initially, but he's won the ball the second time round off Mikalenko and will win the corner. Very good from Bukayo Saka. Didn't give up on it. Kept it going, kept the belief that he could win it, and did win it, and wins a corner. Well, I mentioned earlier in the game that will be a good battle. It has been all the way through the game, Mikalenko and Saka. Good battle between those two, a good matchup. It's a corner, Arsenal. They're 7th of the game. Everton yet to get a corner in this match. Everton, Arsenal's 7th so far. They've taken it short. Odegaard lifts it in the box. Bouncing around, finds its way to Pickford, who catches. It was Calvert-Lewin that got the first header on it, and it was caught by Jordan Pickford. Pickford with the ball forward, headed away by Saliba. Good work. Finds its way to Trossard. Quick feet. Now out to Saka. That's better from Arsenal. Saka down the right flank, up against Mikalenko. Speeds past Mikalenko. Onana has to help out, and the last touch is off Onana, according to the officials, so another corner to Arsenal. Maybe it was a hint of Saka had a touch on it in there. That's the way the Everton fans felt. That's why I was a bit hesitant to confirm either one way or another, but the officials believed it was a corner, which they have given. Arsenal have bodies in the box. Gabriel, Saliba, White, Rice, and Jesus as well. Another corner, and Odegaard and Saka are over to take it. Two of them take it short again. Odegaard lays it across. Fabio Vieira at the edge. Can't find the space to take the strike. Zinchenko recycles. Odegaard. Nice Saka. Saka cuts it back. Trossard! What a finish by Leandro Trossard. The deadlock is broken here. And Gabriel Martinelli had the ball in the net in the first half. He was replaced by Trossard, and it's Trossard that breaks the deadlock, gets our first goal of the afternoon, and gets Arsenal ahead here at Goodison Park. It comes from the corner. You think that Arsenal have messed up the set piece. They recycle it. Odegaard to Saka. Saka cuts it back, and latching onto it, running onto it, was Leandro Trossard, who just struck through the ball and into the far corner. Really, really good. No chance for Pickford. No chance for Everton. Fantastic goal by Arsenal. Everton 0, Arsenal 1, and the game is up and running here at Goodison. A goal of pure top class from Leandro Trossard has made the impact that his substitution made by Mikel Arteta he thought would make. Massive goal for Arsenal in this game where it seemed like deja vu, where they thought it's going to be one of those days like it was last season where every chance they had couldn't find the net and Everton were going to nick it. Raya's come out here. Oh, a bit nervy there from David Raya. Put it out for the throw into Everton. In that excitement, I forgot to do my graphics. All that excitement for that goal. Well, we've now set up a very exciting last 20 minutes. Arsenal ahead, but Everton have the bit between their teeth. They need to get back into this. We need a bit more in terms of attacking from them. Got really carried away with that one, didn't I? You don't blame me. It's my first goal I've seen all weekend in my covering of the games. I'm not cursed, as Stephen has just said in the chat. I'm not cursed. Finally. I didn't really care who scored it. I just wanted a goal. But Arsenal do find the goal. And it means Arsenal will now join the top 4 again. Of only 4 teams in the Premier League unbeaten after this weekend. There were 6 going into the weekend. And at the moment, Arsenal are going to be the 4th team after West Ham and Brentford's unbeaten runs came to an end with defeats at City and Newcastle. But it's Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham and Arsenal unbeaten this season. Really good run by Mikalenko. Corner Everton. Really good run by Mikalenko. Made the run down the left-hand side. It's a long ball from Pickford. Mikalenko makes the run in behind. Takes a nice first touch. Tries to strike it. Blocked by, I think that was Gabriel that blocked it. No, it's Saliba that blocked it. The other centre-back. Saliba blocks it. Goes out for the corner to Everton. They're first of the game. So Everton in quick response. Wanting to get back on level terms. In quick response, that corner's poor, straight into the hands of David Raya. And there's a man down here for Arsenal. It's Martin Odegaard, the captain, holding his face, it seems. He's checking for any blood, but there's no blood there. He's okay. Just down momentarily, but he's back. He's fine. Crazy how that game earlier this afternoon was the first draw of the weekend. We've had outright winners all weekend. Liverpool, Villa, Fulham, Brighton, Tottenham, Man City, Newcastle, and then Bournemouth and Chelsea are the first 2 teams, first game of the weekend, not to have a winner. Both drawing that game. Fascinating. Well, we don't finish our Premier League weekend here. We have another game tomorrow, Monday Night Football, as Nottingham Forest host Burnley at the City Ground. It's a great atmosphere at the City Ground. It will be one of pure excitement. Vincent Kompany's side, 3 defeats from 3. Nottingham Forest, a good start to the season for Steve Cooper's side, winning away at Chelsea last time out. They hoping to consolidate that with another victory. Arsenal come forward again. Lovely whipped cross. Vieira trying to connect with it. Miscues it wide for a goal kick. Also, don't forget, that's not the end today. This game isn't the end of our action on the channel this afternoon. We have NFL Live coming up as the New York Jets, after their defeat last week. Were they beaten last week? I forget. The Jets, yes, they were beaten. At the Cowboys. That's tonight, 9:25 on the LFS. We'll have live commentary of that one. Looking forward to that. My team are also in action. The Rams in action tonight against the 49ers. Anyway, back to the football. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal finally getting that breakthrough that they have been pushing and probing for since minute 1 of this game. They have been so dominant all the way through. And to be talking about Everton, where do they go from here? I mean, at this moment in time, 1-0 down at home again. That'll be the third consecutive 1-0 defeat if it ends like this at home to start the season. An awful home form to start the season for Everton. A place that was so crucial to their campaign, their ability to stay in the Premier League last season. Their home form was at the heart of it. As it usually is with teams in relegation battles, your home form usually saves you if you stay up. And that was the case with Everton. But if they're dropping massive points away from home early in the season, they could have a different outcome. That's a lovely ball. Nice touch by Jesus. Just got away from him and Mikalenko recovered. A really good run in behind by Jesus to try and put it to bed. That was really good recovery by Mikalenko. Now Everton send it up the other end. Here's Danjuma up against Zinchenko. Danjuma on the right flank. Danjuma comes inside, cuts it back. Here's Idrissa Gueye. Takes the strike well wide there from Idrissa Gueye. Scotty says good luck against the Niners. Yes, let's hope so. We had a good divisional win against the Seahawks last weekend. Let's hope we can follow it up with another divisional win tonight against the 49ers. Let's hope so. We'll wait and see. We'll have coverage of all of that, by the way, with our live commentary of the late game, or the NFL game tonight. We will have live scores, live updates from all around the NFL tonight on all of those games. So keep an eye on that for us. If you're going to join us for that, look forward to that. Arsenal had 76% possession in this game, 11 shots, 3 on target, to Everton's 24% possession, 6 shots, 1 on target. So, oh, that's good from Trossard, keeps the attack alive. Here's Ødegaard. Ødegaard's running through. Ødegaard saved. Massive save by Pickford. Vieira. Lovely block by Mikalenko. Bodies on the line for Everton to keep this game in their grasp. It would have been game over if Ødegaard or Vieira had found the net there. Ødegaard made the run through. It was really good from Trossard initially to keep it alive. Lifts it over the top for Ødegaard. Ødegaard makes the run. Right-footed strike across Pickford, who saves. And then it falls to Vieira. And the fantastic sliding dive from Mikalenko to block it is wonderful. Corner Arsenal, left-hand side. They're pushing to wrap this game up now to make it 2 and to confirm the 3 points. But Everton are clinging on for their lives to hope that it stays at 1-0 and maybe they could nick an equaliser. Vieira whips a ball in, back post. Pickford gets a touch on it. Will bounce back into the path of Arsenal. Vieira. Oh, the way he said that made me want to go Vieira, whoa, whoa, in the old chant of Patrick Vieira. Zinchenko. Here is Vieira. Whoa. And Vieira gets the free kick off Ashley Young, who is on a yellow card, remember. You have to watch himself. Have to be careful. So free kick Arsenal. Zinchenko takes it short. 12 minutes plus additional time to go. Arsenal 1-0 up here at Goodison. And Arsenal, I think, readying a few more changes to come in a moment. I can see a bit of movement on the Arsenal bench. Gabriel, lovely ball. Trossard runs. Pickford comes out and clears it. And then the offside flag goes up against Leandro Trossard. So goal, free kick to Everton it will be. 75 votes in the chat, 69% predicting an Arsenal win. Everton win at 19 and 12% saying a draw. Alright, they're going to make more changes. It's Everton they're going to make their change first, I believe. Arsenal are going to make a double change. Everton are going to make a single change. So the first change for Arsenal is 21, Fabio Vieira is coming off. He's being replaced by Kai Havertz. And the second substitution is Alexander Zinchenko coming off, and he is being replaced by Takahiro Tomiyasu. So Tomiyasu and Havertz on to replace Zinchenko and Vieira. The substitution from Everton's point of view, they've made the one change. It's Abdoulaye Doucouré who has made way for James Garner. So Garner on, Doucouré off for Everton. As we are about to enter the last 10 minutes here at Goodison. And it looks like Everton are staring down the barrel of a third successive home defeat. They're going to need to show some invention if they're going to try and change that storyline and get their first home points of the season, their first home goal of the season. Yet to do that so far this campaign. Long ball forward, bouncing about, but Calvert-Lewin couldn't get on the end of that one, and David Raya will just recover it for Arsenal. Out to Rice. White on the right hand side. Has to go back to Saliba. Arsenal just take their time. David Raya. Rice. Trossard. Trying to feed the ball across. It's intercepted. Rice cuts it out well. That Everton attack. Ødegaard down the right hand side is Saka. Saka making the run against Mikalenko. Nice feet from Saka. Still going. Felt he was pushed, but referee said they'd won the ball back fairly, did Everton. Branthwaite messing about at the back there, but he's fouled by Jesus. Gets him out of trouble. And that will be a free kick to Everton. The Champions League is back this week. Don't forget, we have three live games actually for you this week. We go to San Siro in the early kickoff on Tuesday. 5:45 kickoff as Newcastle go to AC Milan. That is then followed up by PSG at Dortmund at the Parc des Princes. The 8 o'clock kickoff will also keep it with the champions Manchester City, who kick off at 8 as well on Tuesday. And then Wednesday night we head to the Allianz Arena as Bayern Munich host Manchester United in the Champions League. And then the Europa League is back as well this week. We head to Lask on Thursday early as Liverpool head to Lask on Thursday evening. And then we've an 8 o'clock kickoff from the London Stadium as well as West Ham take on Baka Topola at the London Stadium. That's our midweek action for you to look forward to. Scotty says, darn, those fans there deserve at least a goal for loving them. No pressure, right? Indeed. I mean, the pressure on Everton, basically, I mean, they've put themselves in this position. The fact that they have such a difficult task against such a difficult team that don't drop many points. Tomiyasu thought about coming there to try and win the ball back, but retreated. He thought it was the right decision, but then gives away a free kick. Strange. But yeah, it's Everton that have put themselves in this position, considering they lost their first 2 home games to Wolves and Fulham. Much more winnable games than this game against Arsenal. Let's think about it. They should have been at least getting a point out of those games, at the very least, but they haven't even scored against them. Never mind getting any points against them. And that seemed to be difficult for Everton, but 3 home defeats in a row, 4 defeats out of 5, is not how they would have wanted to start their season, but that's what happens when you're relegation fodder. As they're battling in the box here, trying to nick a late equaliser if they could. Trying to fold it down, Juma. Trossard clears. I think Arsenal need that second goal because Everton are going to still push to try and steal an equaliser. Garner tries to get it across. That will just bobble the way through for David Raya. There was a few calls from the Everton crowd. They wanted a foul on Ashley Young to be given, but the referee waved that away. Played the advantage, and then the advantage didn't work out, so maybe they have a point. Nonetheless, Here's Trossard. But to be fair, Everton haven't been anywhere near good enough this afternoon. I mean, what did they expect coming into this game? Did they expect to dominate possession? They should have expected that they were going to have very little of the ball. But even with very little of the ball, they've looked awful when they were on the ball. They can't put passes together. I mean, their passing accuracy, considering they've had 204 passes, their passing accuracy is 69%. That is League 2 level passing accuracy. League 1 level passing accuracy. That is not Premier League level passing. At 69%. They knew they weren't going to have much of the ball. This is Arsenal they're playing. Arsenal are going to come here and try and dominate the ball. They have done that incredibly well, Arsenal. But Everton, on the other hand, on the ball, in possession, they've just looked hopeless. They've looked well off the boil and just not good enough from Everton's point of view. Arsenal, on the other hand, have had 614 passes, 90% passing accuracy. That is what you call Premier League level passing accuracy. And for Arsenal, that's probably a bit low, to be fair, but it's because they've had so much of the ball, 75% of the ball, that it's a bit lower than usual. Usually it is in the mid 90s, at least 94, 95% passing accuracy. But because they've had so much possession, that's surely going to drop a bit more. But Everton look hopeless, genuinely. I mean, they haven't even had a counter-attack that has been registered. They've had two counter-attacks. Arsenal have had 2 counter-attacks and 2 shots from counter-attacks. Everton haven't had that either. I'm just trying to figure out where Sean Dyche brings his team from here. I mean, you know, they come into this one thinking maybe they could repeat what they did last season, but after this one, they're going to sit third bottom in the table, and the only 2 teams yet to pick up points are Burnley and Luton. Burnley have played 2 games less. Luton have played a game less. If they pick up points in their games, I mean, they pick up points from their games, Everton could be bottom of the league. They've scored 2 goals, on par with Luton, who've scored 2 goals. They've conceded 9, around about the same as Sheffield United, who have conceded 9. I think it's proper relegation form from Everton's point of view. They have 3 home games in their first 5, and they've picked a point away. They've picked up their only point this season away from home. It's dreadful, dreadful. They're going to make another substitution here, Everton. They're going to switch their fullback. It's Ashley Young, who's going to come off. He has been replaced by Nathan Patterson. They're going to make another substitution as well. And Dwight McNeil is going to make way. And he is going to be coming off and replaced by Yusuf Shermiti from Portugal. The Portuguese, 19-year-old Portuguese, is coming on for Dwight McNeil. So a double sub from Everton. They have a free kick inside the Arsenal half, just inside the half, which Pickford will take. 2.5 minutes plus additional time to go. Left-footed ball whipped in. Keeper to keeper, basically. Oh, he's dropped it. That's a foul. Foul on David Raya there. Oh, I need to see that again. I wasn't too sure about that one. The ball whipped in. Raya comes up, tries to win the header. I don't think that's a foul on the goalkeeper. I think they're 2 protected goalkeepers. I've made this point previously. Goalkeepers get far too much protection in football these days. Far too much protection. Any slight touch on a goalkeeper, it's a foul. Suddenly, you can't put a challenge in. You can't try and attack the ball. Once the goalkeeper's near the ball, you have to give it to them. No. You can still challenge for the ball. Well, that's another point we could make about David Raya. Had a good game today. Not had much to do, but not a bad game, considering it was a bit of a shock that he was starting today, with Aaron Ramsdale on the bench, not injured, nothing wrong with him. Just preferred over Ramsdale in this one was Raya. And he had a pretty good performance. He's kept a clean sheet so far anyway. And he will get onto that one. The Calvert-Lewin forward header is straight into the path of Raya, who will catch. Scotty says 2 passes gone, 1 out of 20. Wow. Yeah. I mean, they just don't look good enough, Everton. Genuinely. and it was said by their own fans, achievement this season is staying in the Premier League. And we've seen the demise of Everton over the last few years. I mean, they've been in 2 straight relegation battles, 2 seasons in a row. I mean, some would say third time lucky, but they've saved themselves on the final day or the final few games on the last 2 seasons in a row. There's going to come a time where they're going to be in relegation battles season on season, and they're not going to see themselves out of it every time. Patterson trying to cause a few late drama. Ball across. Calvert-Lewin misses it. Doesn't kick it the way he would have wanted, and it goes wide. That was a big opportunity. Everton latch onto a loose ball from Rice. Patterson wins it, gets it to Calvert-Lewin, and doesn't really do enough to try and get it towards Raya to cause him an issue, and it will just dribble wide for a goal kick. We have surpassed the 90 minutes, and we will have exactly the same as we did in the first half. 4 additional minutes. Which, by the way, has had Sean Dyche not happy with the 4th official, Anthony Taylor. The 4th official's just got a mouthful from Sean Dyche about not enough time, surely. I mean, I wouldn't say there's been anything too controversial to add so much time on the second half. I think 4 is about right. We've had a goal, substitutions. There's not been much other than that. Jesus, Gabriel's messing about at the back there. Sharmuti almost caught him out. Far too. I mean, what's he doing? Far too casual from Gabriel. Far too casual. Got away with one, but against better opposition, you wouldn't get away with one. Luckily, they win the throw-in as well. Bonus for them. Arsenal throw-in. Taken down. Bit of a scramble. Jesus wins it. Trying to take it on down the line, but Patterson puts it out for weight. Put it out for another throw-in to Arsenal. It's Gladbach that have come all the way back. Remember, Darmstadt were 3-0 up against Gladbach. They went down to 10, and Gladbach are all the way back. 3-3 in that one. Darmstadt down to 10. It's 2-2 between Fiorentina and Atalanta. They've got a goal back. Atalanta to get back on level terms. It's still 0-0 between Sevilla and Las Palmas as the first half's coming to an end there. And it finished Marseille 0, Toulouse 0 in Ligue 1. There's a man down here for Arsenal, Jesus. Whether that's time wasting or anything, the referee's on it. The Arsenal players, or the Everton players, complaining. I'm sure the referee's got it all covered. Seems to. Keeping an eye on the time. 2 minutes gone of the 4 additional. We could have another 30 seconds due to that stoppage. The referee, it's to his own discretion, of course, now. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. Greatly appreciated every single person that's subscribing to the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you that is subscribing. And we have NFL action tonight. Jets at the Cowboys, 9:25. Stay with us for all the updates on that. Looking forward to that one. That's in around 3 hours' time. We will have that one live here on LFS. Sean Dyche is really not happy about something. He's complaining to the 4th official. Maybe he's still going on about the time. There's no point in arguing, Sean. 4 minutes have been added on. It's now 4 minutes for you to try and your team to try and get something. If you don't, that's on you. Rice. Down the right is Saka. Up against Mikalenko. And that's a throw in to Arsenal. It's one of those ones where the Everton fans are leaving in their droves. They're out onto the main road outside Goodison Park. The Everton fans, they've already given up hope. Well, that's the sign of a disenchanted fan base, not happy with their team's performances. Arsenal have been given a corner here. Tarkovsky can't believe it. But that's the sign of a crowd not happy with their team's performances, not happy with their team's outcomes and results, because it's not like a Scouser to leave a game early. Not like an Everton fan or a Liverpool fan, to that matter, to leave a game early no matter what the scoreline. But it just shows the situation that Everton are in. You know, 1 point from 5 games, 1 point from 15 is horrendous form. Horrendous start to the season. for them. Arsenal just holding it here at the corner flag. They'll probably just see this one out from the corner flag. Everton have Brentford away next Saturday. Arsenal have a European game, the Champions League game against PSV on Wednesday, before the North London derby next Sunday. Fantastic. What a game to build up to. And that's the final whistle. It is 4 wins out of 5 for Arsenal here. Their revenge from their defeat here last season is complete. They do what Everton did to them last season and beat them by a narrow 1-0 scoreline. It's awful for Everton. It's amazing for Arsenal. And it's Everton and Arsenal contrasting forms. Everton 1 point from 15. Arsenal 13 points from 15. Arsenal in the top 4. Everton in the bottom 3. It's as cliche as you could get it. It was Leandro Trossard's goal that separated the sides. And what a quality goal it is. Really, really good game in the end eventually. Only 1 goal for me this Sunday, but I'm glad I got one in the end. It's finished here at Goodison Park after this game. Everton 0, Arsenal 1.